Welcome to Missouri Business Direct. I'm Karen Bushman. Education reform is emerging as an important topic at the Missouri Capitol. Lawmakers are working to address concerns from the business community that the state's education system is failing to prepare students for the workforce or higher education. In fact, a Gallup survey found that only 15% of Missouri employers believe that the state's high school graduates are prepared for the workforce. To address this, the Missouri House and Senate are considering a number of bills to change the state's education system. Among them is a bill that would help charter schools expand across Missouri. House member Rebecca Raber sponsored the bill.
We have in Missouri 38% remediation at the college level. Not only is that expensive for families, it's expensive for Missouri, and it indicates that we're not doing our job at the K through 12 level. So if we up our game in education and our kids leave high school with a diploma that means that they're ready for college, ready for training, obviously that'll help our business community.
Raber's bill has been passed by the House and now awaits action in the Senate. In the meantime, the House is also considering a bill that would bring education savings accounts to Missouri. Representative Shamed Dogan explained his bill.
It is a scholarship tax credit, so students would be able to use scholarships that are funded through tax credits, through philanthropic donations, and they will be able to use those scholarships at any institution that works for them, whether it's a private school, whether it's another charter school, whether it's online education, whatever works for that student. And this is really in line with a whole bunch of other legislation moving through the House right now, where we're just trying to tailor education to the needs of individual students. Instead of a one-size-fits-all model, which is the 18th century model that public education kind of runs on right now, we're moving it into the 21st century, where we can compete with other countries and where we compete with other states to have the most educated and most trained workforce possible.
Education reform activity in Missouri has started to attract national attention. Former Florida Governor Jeb Bush recently visited the state capitol, where he encouraged lawmakers to pass bold reforms.
The organizational model that we have today for educating a generation of students that are going to hit a wave of technology, the combination of artificial intelligence, the mining of big data, the revolution of automation is radically changing the world that we're moving in. That's not going to change. But it's fascinating to me and frustrating to me that the governance model for educating children in the world we're moving into, that we're already there in fact, is the same one that child lived in 110 years ago. Think about that. Think of all the great institutions in our society that have changed and adapted when the circumstances change. And yet our public education system, in spite of really dedicated public school teachers and people that really have a heart for kids, hasn't changed. And here in Missouri, you now have a chance to bring your system of governance around the children that will define the future of this state, bring it into the 21st century. And I just applaud the fact that you're doing this.
In other news, state lawmakers are continuing their work to improve Missouri's legal climate. For years, both the American Tort Reform Association and the Institute for Legal Reform have released rankings that place Missouri among the states with the worst legal climates. Legislators are pursuing a number of changes to address this problem. One important bill would help stop venue shopping by out-of-state attorneys who want to bring their cases to Missouri courtrooms. Another bill would help prevent junk evidence in Missouri courtrooms by raising the state's expert witness standards. Representative Kevin Corlew sponsored this bill.
The expert standard that I've proposed is a standard that's used in all federal courts, including the federal courts here in Missouri, and then in the vast majority of states. It provides guidelines for a judge, a trial judge, to be able to determine that someone that's being offered to present expert evidence is, first of all, an expert in that field, and secondly, that the testimony that he or she is providing is based upon reliable facts and data and is relevant to the case.
This bill has been passed by the General Assembly and is expected to be signed into law by Governor Eric Greitens. Finally, students, educators, and business leaders from across Missouri recently gathered in the state capitol to celebrate science, technology, engineering, and math. Here's a look at STEM Day at the Capitol.
We kind of changed it up from the normal instructions. We put put 2 balls in the front so it'd be more steady, and 2 wheels in the back, and the big wheel so it'd turn faster. We've made different versions of this robot, so some of them have been bad, some of them have been good, and then that's our best prototype, our best robot. So then we just moved on and took that. It was difficult. It was difficult, but it was also fun at the same time.
A lot of our scientists, we would like to come from Missouri, but there are not enough of them that are actually coming to us from the Missouri universities. So we are trying to encourage children at high school level, at elementary school level, to go into the sciences and go into colleges in Missouri, and so we can have a greater pool of employees to fish from. So events like this help us to encourage the children right from elementary school into high school. By the time children get to middle school, if they're not interested in the sciences, you've actually lost them.
We have a robotics team. We're the Smarty Hardies, and this is our first year, and we won an award, the Core Values Award. We had certain challenges, and we had made the arms of the robot, and me and my team, we made the arms really long so we can pick up the objects and so they wouldn't fall and slid all the way down. I really enjoyed it, and it wasn't really hard. We just, as long as we had the gist to do it, as long as we knew how to program and how we knew the challenges that we were doing. I think I would be an architect.